Let's now put you on track on latest news developments across federal ministries on Ministry News. The federal government has approved a total of 53.81 billion naira to facilitate the completion of projects including roads and bridges in various parts of the country, with the approval also of a memorandum for the construction of a 5.75 billion naira new corporate headquarters in Abuja with a completion period of 24 months. This came following the Federal Executive Council FEC's approval of a memorandum by the Ministry of Works and Housing, which sought the provision of quality infrastructure in the 4 affected areas. The Minister of State for Works and Housing, Muazu Sambo, briefed State House correspondents on the development after the council meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo. During his briefing, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Ni Adebayo, on behalf of the National Sugar Development Council, said the council approved a memorandum for the construction of a 5.7 billion naira new corporate headquarters in Abuja with a completion period of 24 months.
The Nigerian Sugar Master Plan, NSMP, contains fiscal and investment incentives designed to stimulate demand and attract new investors to the industry. The NSMP will create 110,000 jobs and eliminate the annual demand of more than $700 million in foreign exchange for the importation of raw sugar and fuel. It will produce 1.8 million metric tons of raw sugar, 411.7 megawatts of electricity, 161.2 million liters of ethanol, and 1.6 million metric tons of animal feed annually.
The Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, has said that the national grid, which collapsed a few days ago, has now been restored to full operation. The minister will disclose this during a briefing after the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting on Wednesday. So the current energy crisis confronting some key sectors of the economy contributed to the challenges in the power sector. The minister identified a shortage of gas maintenance of generators as well as fuel situation in the country as some of the factors that contributed to the problem with the national grid.
The power on the grid has dropped due to lack of gas, the maintenance that some of the generators are undergoing. That drop in the supply that goes down on the grid, it triggers some response. Some started to trip down, and that also causes the whole system to go down. We had it the first day, we recovered it. We had it again, we recovered it. So we are on top of it. We have recovered it now. The grid is back. We are trying to get more megawatts to push on the grid. Through that meeting, everybody now is contributing to that meeting. We have set up small committees, about 2-3 committees, all gearing towards getting more megawatts to put on the grid.
The federal government has concluded plans to announce approved concessionaires for the quadruple of Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt and Kano airports next week. According to revelations from authorities concerned with the concessionaire, the flagship Murtala Mohammed International Airport will have its new operator announced by the 22nd of March this year. A total of 13 airport consortia comprising local and foreign companies submitted bids to be pre-qualified for the planned concession of international airports in the country. The Federal Minister of Works, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, disclosed recently that in the bid to support education in the country, the ministry has successfully intervened in the rehabilitation of internal road networks of 46 federal institutions across the country. The minister was represented by the Federal Controller of Works, Oyo State, Engineer Kayode Ibrahim, this Tuesday during the commissioning of the internal road at the Federal College of Agriculture, More Plantation, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital.
We have successfully intervened in the internal road networks of of 46 tertiary federal institutions and handed over 29 as at 2021. And we now have another 17 ready to be handed over, while we are currently attending to 30 roads in similar institutions across the country, making a total of 76 roads.
The federal government has affirmed its commitment to local production of vaccines by establishing new production centers to reduce the reliance on international partners for access to medical equipment and kits. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, who was represented by Dr. Mrs. Olubumi Aribia in the Department of Food and Drug Services, Federal Minister of Health, made this known during a national symposium on Thursday in Abuja. The minister said the ministry has been working to ensure it takes off fully to produce the needed vaccine in Nigeria. And finally, on ministry news, the federal government has begun entrepreneurial training of 467,183 out of the 500,000 beneficiaries of the N-Power scheme captured in exited batches A and B. The development was in fulfillment of the promise made by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, IGS Sadiya Umaru Farouk, to establish an exit program for the N-Power beneficiaries who are expected to get loans from the central bank upon training. Speaking at the flag-off of the Nexim CBN Agribusiness Small and Medium Enterprises Scheme in Abuja this week, the minister explained that the N-Power program is a critical part of the National Social Investment Programs domiciled in the federal ministry, designed to achieve the national objectives of poverty reduction and job creation.